We're pleased to be joined by Dr. Casey Crabill, President, Raritan Valley Community College. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
We're doing this program in the spring of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And after, how many years have you been at Raritan?
7.
7 years. You're moving to another community college in Syracuse.
In Syracuse, yes.
What is your love and connection to community and county colleges? What is it?
Oh, so it goes way back. When I was in 10th grade, my mom went back to school. She had put that off, having children and staying home until we were ready to launch, and that it was her time. And she went to Hudson Valley Community College in upstate New York, where I'm from. And I got to see firsthand the difference that a community college education made for her as a person, being able to take some delayed goals. She became a nurse, and in retrospect, as I became a professional, I got to understand the economic difference that that experience made for our whole family. So I come to it from a very personal experience, long connection, and a real drive to keep that opportunity available to people like my mom.
You know, throughout this segment, you're going to see a website for the New Jersey Council of County Colleges. And that's how we first met you, and we started doing a series of programs because we wanted to better understand this layer, if you will, this transition. My wife, I've said this many times, went to Bergen Community College before she went to Montclair State. Like many students after high school, needed to make the transition, was challenged. How common is it that students who graduate from high school need to make that transition, and that is the place they do it?
It's very common, and the transition comes in lots of different forms. We typically hear about students who need to make a transition academically. Maybe they have some math skills or some English skills that haven't developed to the point that would allow that student to be competitive in a college environment. So when I look at the students coming to Raritan Valley, I see about 30% of those students who need to develop their English and writing skills so that they can then launch successfully as juniors at senior institutions.
And you're doing things about that, though. Be specific, because
we absolutely
at Raritan, you're actually engaged with the high schools in curriculum and saying, hey, wait a minute, we know, time out. We know there's an issue. We don't want to wait too long. We want to be proactive. What's happening?
Well, we're working right now with about 16 high school districts in lots of different ways. I think the important thing about community colleges is we can tailor our response. We're rooted in the community, so if a district wants to work in one direction, we can do that, and we can go a different way with another district. So we've been exploring with folks what we can do to provide the most assistance. And it ranges from simply providing that college placement assessment early for students so that students and their parents can understand, typically in the 11th grade, how are they doing in terms of being on track to be college ready. Still gives them the senior year to do some brush up or take some additional work, or maybe take a math class that they weren't planning on taking because they need to fill in those gaps.
But aren't they also taking potentially college courses earlier?
Yes, we have a concurrent enrollment program with about 16 districts where students who are ready to dip their toe in the water to try college, to maybe get 3 credits before they graduate high school, can take a course that's called a concurrent enrollment course. The college identifies qualified teachers. Sometimes they're teachers already in the high school. Sometimes they're folks that we bring in that work for us as part-time faculty. And the course is delivered in the high school day for students who are ready for those classes. And it allows students to have a collegiate experience and to try out their skills, but also to pursue an area of interest that maybe the high school isn't able to offer a curriculum in anthropology, but we're able to bring that class in so that students can get that experience early.
You know, Doctor, you've had this experience, this connection to community colleges for several years. You've seen the changes. I'm a student of branding, reputation, public reputation, the way people present themselves, or organizations and institutions present themselves. How have you seen the brand of community colleges change over the last 15, 20 years?
So I think people are starting to understand that we're both complex and excellent. It's like that old story about how people perceive an elephant. It's whatever part of the elephant you're personally encountering.
It's an interesting analogy.
A long time ago, people might think, oh, community colleges, that's just for students who struggled in high school, or that's just for students who want workforce training. And I think our complexity is really beginning to emerge as communities learn more and more about these resources that they have right there locally, so that people understand now that we can serve a range of students. Raritan Valley, for example, has an honors college, a selective admissions honors college for students who want that intensive honors experience close to home. There are lots of reasons why students want to stay close to home: family obligations, work, civic involvement. One of my students stayed behind because she lives on a farm and she felt obligated to continue her role on the farm.
And the reaction and response of parents?
And parents are finding that the quality that they can get in a community college where students have small classes, faculty members who know them personally, who can provide that kind of up-close guidance and advisement, that's really beneficial for students, even freshmen and sophomores who are trying to find their ways. And I think that, you know, in some ways, the economics of higher education are having more families take a close look at community colleges.
What do you mean by that, the economics of higher ed?
We're a more affordable route for many people who want to, you know, support their student through a bachelor's degree and need to take what they have and stretch it so that it covers that full bachelor's degree
We'll deal with that real
experience.
quick in the time we have left. Some misconceptions. Some people watching right now may say, well, wait a minute, I'd like to do that, but how do I know that the credits that I take are, quote, transferable to a four-year school?
So in New Jersey, the legislature passed a bill that challenged higher education to come together, form a transfer agreement. That was an agreement forged among presidents of 2- and 4-year institutions, and it says that a student who completes an associate degree at a New Jersey county college and transfers to a New Jersey senior institution, that transfers with junior status, with 50% of the degree left to complete, and each of the senior institutions has been a very active partner in making that transfer real for students. So I think people can rest assured that that question's been resolved.
That's a collaborative relationship with the four-year institutions.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So you're going back home to Syracuse.
I am.
You're staying connected to community colleges.
Always.
It is part of your life, part of your professional world.
Indeed, yes.
And we're going to miss you.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful state to work in. New Jersey's community colleges are amazing places.
Well, you're still going to be connected to us.
Absolutely.
And you're still a friend of the show. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Dr. Casey Crabill, President at Raritan Valley Community College. We appreciate you joining us and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you, Casey.